room outfitted with metaverse chairs that allow a person to travel to any point. She admits she often confuses what's real and what's virtual. The device turns on, and Mayumi finds herself in a clinic where her husband and the doctor are already waiting. She tells the doctor that her ears often ring and her head hurts. The doctor suspects she has a post-traumatic disorder since she lost her memory after spending time in a coma caused by a head injury she received during a tsunami. Strangely enough, Mayumi doesn't remember the cataclysm at all. Later, Naoki gives an interview as the inventor of the first orbital homes, which many of the planet's wealthy citizens have moved into. Looking at Earth from orbit, they can learn to cherish the world they left behind. And when the climate improves, people will return to their home planet. Meanwhile, Mayumi admires the tomato harvest in their greenhouse. The tomatoes look perfect. Q accompanies her and helps pick some greens for dinner. Later, she meets Naoki with his favorite soup. She's happy that her body remembers what she once knew how to do, and Naoki is thrilled. He didn't dare hope she would start cooking again. Mayumi jots something down on a slip of paper and explains to her husband that she's decided to keep a record of events. Maybe it will help her restore her memories and relive the moment they met, got married, and moved into a beach house. After all, by all accounts, that was the happiest time of their marriage. For some reason, this idea worries Naoki. He insists it's too soon for them to return to Earth and reminds her of the doctor's advice. Think about the future, not dwell on the past. Mayumi considered it defective and simply gave it to him as a gift. In the present, they head to the bedroom, but suddenly, Naoki pushes her away. She doesn't understand what she did wrong, yet he refuses to explain. Mayumi is surprised that her husband believes he knows her better than she knows herself. He agrees he knows his wife well, and she is not Mayumi. Naoki raises a knife above her, and Mayumi wakes up. Disturbed, Mayumi goes to the doctor and tells him about her night, beside himself with joy. Mayumi returns to reality and takes a shower, but there it gets even worse. She sees bloody streaks on the glass, and her neck aches badly. Later, her husband helps dry her hair and tries to encourage her. During the day, Mayumi works in her studio, and upon picking up a bowl, she suddenly remembers hitting someone with it. An unhinged man had broken into her house, demanding she sell him some pottery. When Mayumi insisted it was too fragile, he started hitting her. At that moment, Naoki rushed at the intruder and started beating him with brutal ferocity. She couldn't stop him. Only when the man lost consciousness did Naoki back off. Mayumi treated the wounds on his hands and thanked him for protecting her, but she asked him never to fight again because it had frightened her greatly. Naoki promised that instead of him, Q would defend her. Laughing, Mayumi continued checking Naoki's injuries and noticed terrible burns on his sides and back. He admitted that his father was very fond of cigars. Feeling pity, Mayumi kissed him, and that was the beginning of their relationship. In the present, Naoki is reviewing his wife's psychological profile when he suddenly hears music from the living room. He goes there and sees Mayumi napping on the couch with a Debussy record playing on the turntable. Mayumi notices him and admits she really loves this melody and remembers it from beginning to end. Her husband then suggests they look at the real moon. He takes her to an observation window, and Mayumi is delighted to see the moon is red. Naoki explains it's because of a lunar eclipse, while she dreams of walking on the moon, something that inexplicably unsettles him. He steps out of the airlock and seals her inside, repeating that she is not Mayumi. At first, she laughs, thinking it's a joke, but then she realizes he's serious and starts to panic, especially when she sees he's preparing to open the outer door. With tremendous effort, she forces the doors apart and makes it inside. Then, just like in her dream, Naoki raises a knife and drives it into her neck. Instead of blood, a white fluid seeps out, and Naoki pulls a chip from the base of her neck, leaving the android's motionless body on the floor. He leaves, ordering Q to dispose of the robot. Later, he weeps, recalling the night he found his wife's mutilated body on the shore. The next day, he goes to the doctor and admits he got rid of the android because it was defective. The backup memory must have been corrupted, but the doctor objects, saying he installed the memory exactly from the day Naoki had specified. However, on that day, she couldn't have remembered that melody. Naoki asks him to create yet another, earlier version. When the doctor tries to argue, Naoki reminds him that there are plenty of specialists who can do memory transfers, so he can easily go elsewhere.